All right, so good morning, everyone. This is Q. Welcome back to my channel. It is currently 4:56 in the morning. I'm going to be doing a live trading video for everyone here. So during this trading video, you will see me trading gold. So I'm going to currently just go over my current position that I do have and what I'm seeing for gold today. It is Monday, so first day of the trading week, we're going to see how gold kind of plays out to start off the week and then see from there. So to start down from top down analysis, you will see from the top, as you can see here, I have in my notes, I am mainly bullish on gold long term. On the daily time frame, we are still mainly going to be bullish in this entire range. As we do see here, we did maintain this overall daily level of support. And with that being said, then we're going to be looking for us to actually travel up from here. Now, we do have a couple things to keep in consideration is the fact that we are making some lower high points, as you can see here on gold, from this point to this point to this point right here, which is the most recent daily area. So from there, if we had made a lower high point on the daily time frame, especially with us actually considering that we did respect it, especially with that daily bearish engulfing that you can see here from the start of last week. So we did start off the week with that. So then I'm looking for us to actually continue to the downside, especially considering the fact that we did make this overall break of this minor level of support right here. As you see right here, broke a 4-hour minor level of support, broke this minor level of 4-hour support, came down, made a new low down here, and then also has this counter trend line that we are currently sitting on where we are right now. So since we are sitting in that area for the counter trend line, I was just seeing if we are getting the transition to see if we can actually get a reversal off of here. And according to the 5-minute, we are. As you see here, I am a little bit of drawdown, but currently this area on the 5-minute resistance is the area that I'm looking to actually have hold for this entire zone. So for this entire zone, we were flowing a little bit nicer in comparison to what I'm seeing right now. For some reason, this thing has just refused to break this 1-minute level of support. So that could be the death of this trade, but we will see here. But currently, that's what I'm just aiming for, is the fact that we are hitting this area on a 4-hour counter trend line. And since we are seeing these 4-hour bearish signs, considering that we're below the 4-hour MA, and we are also still pointing downward on this counter trend for this 4-hour, I am going to be aiming more bearish for the time being until we either break this counter trend line, break this MA, or if we break that resistance point right here. Otherwise, I'm still looking a little bit more bullish for the overall bigger picture. I just see this sell coming for a little bit more as of right now in comparison for the bigger long term. Again, that's why I have long term as my note for this entire market. So I'm looking for, honestly, the market to come back down into this area, which is where the original 100% would be, because this is still the main fib that I'm aiming to actually have play out. But I have to let this counter trend play out the way it's supposed to first before I can start to head back into this overall main bullish trend. So that's currently the moment, or that's currently my trade right now. We'll see how this kind of plays out, and I will update it as it goes. As you see here, I'm starting to push back down out of drawdown. It was a very aggressive push. This thing has been kind of all over the place since I got in, but we will see how it goes. I do have a 50 pip stop for this. I did make sure I waited for all my confirmations, so we will see if I can get a continuation of this entire thing. So thank you, and I will update you on the next one. All right, so it is currently 8:03 in the morning. So just want to do a quick little trade update. I got in this trade at around like 4:30, so it's been around 4-ish hours, like 3.5. Finally, the trade is starting to move a little bit though. So for what we are currently sitting at, as you see, trade is starting to flow to the downside. I didn't want to do a whole screen recording because this isn't like the end of the trade. This isn't me closing out or really showing any analysis. This is me just showing the flow of the trade at the moment in time. So as you can see here, currently up 270 on this trade. So we will see if we can get it to continue to flow. The overall goal I have is for this bigger 4-hour time frame to really start to make a bearish engulfing, which as long as the next hour kind of flows the way we need it to, then it will. Hour candles have been closing really decently to the downside. As you see, all you see to the upside is just a bunch of wicks. So continuously making lower highs, and we are now below the MA on the 1 hour as well. So that's also a really good sign. Starting to get below the MAs on other time frames. So as you see here, starting to get below the 15. I did hit TP1, so I'm up a 1-to-1 at the moment in time, but I'm aiming for a 1-to-4 in general. Goal is to get all the way back down to here. We'll see what this does do. I'm not near exiting at any point in time right now, so just kind of waiting it out. But again, want to see what this trade does. Quick little update. Let's see how this trade finishes out. All right, so welcome back. This is going to be the kind of like the third portion. I did create a second portion. I didn't like do the whole setup and everything that you can hear me now on the mic, but for this third portion, it is actually going to be the trade being closed out. So this trade this morning was on gold. So I explained the whole setup from this morning, as you will see in the first portion of this video. And from there, I had actually created this new lower low point here on structure. So just to go over the chart and as into why I closed when I did. So risk reward when I had closed, I was up a 1 to like 2.5, 1 to 2.5, 2.3-ish. Yeah, like 2.5 by the time I had closed. So I had made 650 on this trade. As you'll see here on the right hand side, this is the trade that I just took, which is this 650 that you see for today. So I took 650 profit wise out of this. And the reason I close is because I actually have this little confirmation checklist I like to do. So as you'll see here, trade list exit confirmations. I do want to check off at the minimum 2. Again, as you see, it's just my rules. I'm trying my best to stay as disciplined as possible because discipline is what's going to lead to success in life and in this game especially. So I want to stay as disciplined as possible and make sure that I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to do according to my system. So according to this, reasons as into closing, I was satisfied with the profit. I was up a 1 to 2.5 risk. I did not expect to be trying to hit $1,000 trade on this. I know when it's $1,000 trade and when it's not, and I know how to scale in to get to those type of trades. And this one was definitely not one of those, but I will gladly take the little bit of profit that I did get. So satisfaction was a main piece. Again, I need to have 2 of these checked off. And then the last one was the counter trend. The mix of these 2 was probably the main reasons as to why I closed. The confluence was definitely there. Confluence-wise, as you can see here, when I really get back into this, is that the confluence for this trade closure was based on the fact that we were hitting this area of support. Wow, this thing's slow. The fact that we were hitting this area of support on the 4-hour time frame. Overall, I am bullish. Again, I explained this in the earlier portion. I am bullish on the 4-hour time frame altogether. So me taking this little sell was actually meant to be a quick trade. I knew it was not going to be a long-term trade for me to marry, especially as soon as I came into this area of support where I am mainly looking actually to buy at now. So we had got down to this area of support. It did hit my TP3. I didn't close at TP3. I wish I did, which was a $100 difference from where I did close. But it got to TP3. Came down, and then the reason I see confluence to exit was the fact that we had started creating all of this exhaustion here on the wow, that was a bad circle on this 15-minute. We created that long exhaustion wick, which I like to check multiple time frames to see if it does transfer over. As you can see here on the 5, it does transfer over. The exhaustion is seen on both time frames. So I had exhaustion on the 15 and on the 5-minute, and then on top of that, if you go to a lower time frame just to see the structure of it, you can see that we were starting to form a little bit of a counter trend throughout this entire thing, creating this higher low point, which is not a sign that I want to see for this time being. Now, red flags, yeah, the red flag was really going to be the higher low and the fact that we had that exhaustion. I could have waited for a couple other signs before I had decided to exit because there is still opportunity for this to actually continue to the downside, which honestly I do see doing in the long term, but I just want to secure my profits for right now. But there is that portion. And then satisfaction, again, I was just up a certain amount, and counter trend exit because this is overall based off of this counter trend line on the 4-hour. So with that being said, as soon as we hit this area of support, not an area that I'm looking to actually fight for the sake of this trade to continue. I'm not going to fight it, take my money, and walk away. So that was the trade for today. I'm glad you actually did get to see it live and actually go from literally point A to point Z, because that was those are things that you don't typically get to see with a lot of people's processes, is seeing the trade literally go from start to finish. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope I did a really good job I hope you understood what I was explaining for my strategy, how I get in and out of trades. And the overall main goal is you don't have to trade like me, but at least follow a system, kind of like how I did. The system is that you saw how I got in. It's the same confirmations each time. It's the same exit confirmations each time. That's why I have a checklist. I have to make sure I have this checklist done in order for me to get in and out of these trades. So just take a little bit of a learning lesson from the fact that it's possible to make this type of money in 5 hours. I think that's how long it took for this trade to play out. It took us 5 hours. It's possible to make this type of money. You just gotta be willing to kind of sit and be patient. I mean, while this trade was playing out, I literally just laid down on my couch and waited for the consolidation to figure itself out, because I entered the trade here at 4:15, 4:20, and we are just now getting out of this trade at 9. And so I sat through a decent amount of consolidation before I decided to push, but it was actually fairly simple after that point. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for coming to find my channel, and thank you for watching this live trade. I will be definitely trying to come out with these videos a lot more often, as I am just, this is my day trading job, so this is what I do. So I have no reason not to make content for y'all. Hope you guys liked it. If you do, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and then also share this with anyone else so you can show them how they might be able to make this type of money as well, because at the end of the day, this is a skill set. If you want to learn this skill set, I could teach it to you. But thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you on the next one.